Brush up your Shakespeare. Start quoting him now. Brush up your Shakespeare, and the women you will wow. With the wife of the British ambassador, try a crack out at Troilus and Cressida.
If she says she won't buy it or take it, make her take it, what's more as you like it.
If she says your behavior is heinous, kick her right in the Coriolanus. Brush up your Shakespeare, and they'll all kowtow. Brush up your Shakespeare. Start quoting him now. Brush up your Shakespeare, and the women you will wow.
If you can't be a Hammond, do Hamlet. They will not give a damn or a damnlet.
Just recite an occasional sonnet, and your lap will have honey upon it.
When your baby is pleading for pleasure,
let her sample your measure for measure. Brush up your Shakespeare, and they'll all kowtow.
Forsooth,
and they'll all kowtow. E-faith, and they'll all kowtow. Brush up your Shakespeare. Start quoting him now. Brush up your Shakespeare, and the women you will wow.
Better mention the Merchant of Venice.
When her sweet pound of flesh you would menace.
If her virtue at first she did ends well,
just remind her that all's well that ends well. And if still she won't give you a bonus, you know what Venus got from Adonis. Woo! Brush up your Shakespeare, and they'll all kowtow.
Thinkst thou?
And they'll all kowtow. As bodkins, and they'll all kowtow. Brush up your Shakespeare. Start quoting him now. Brush up your Shakespeare, and the women you will wow. If your girl is a Washington Heights dream,
treat the kid to a Midsummer's Night's Dream. If she then wants an all-by-herself night,
let her rest every 11th or 12th night. If because of your heat she gets huffy, simply play on and lay on McDuffie. Brush up your Shakespeare, and they'll all kowtow.
Forsooth,
and they'll all kowtow. Thinkst thou? And they'll all kowtow. We trow, and they'll all
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, ease my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together.
remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion, bequeathed me by will but poor 1,000 crowns, and as thou sayest, charged my brother on his blessing to breed me well. And there begins my sadness. My brother Jacques, he keeps at school, and report speaks goldenly of his prophet. For my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or to speak more properly, stays me here at home unkept. For call you that the keeping of a gentleman of my birth, that differs not from the stalling of an ox? His horses are bred better. He lets me feed with his hinds, bars me the place of a brother, and as much as in him lies, minds my gentility with my education. And this, Adam, is what grieves me. And the spirit of my father, which I think is within me, begins to mutiny against this servitude. I will no longer endure it. Though yet I know no wise remedy on how to avoid it. Yonder comes my master, your brother. Go apart, Adam. Thou shalt hear how you will shake me up.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing, sir. I'm not taught to make anything.
But what are you then, sir?
Marry, sir. I'm helping you mar that which what God made. A poor, unworthy brother of yours to idleness.
Marry, sir. Be better employed and stay not for a while.
Shall I keep your hogs and eat husks with them? Oh, what prodigal portion have I spent that I should come to such a penury?
Know you not where you are, sir?
Very well, sir. Here in your orchard.
Know you not before whom?
Very well. Better I am before that knows me. I know you are my elder brother, and in the gentle condition of blood you should so know me. The courtesy of nations allows you my better and that you're firstborn. But that same tradition takes not away my blood. Were there 20 brothers betwixt us? I have as much of my father in me as you do. Albeit I confess, your coming before me is near his reverence.
What?
Come, elder brother, you're too young in this.
Wilt thou lay thy hands upon me, villain?
I'm no villain. I'm the youngest son of Sir Roland de Boys. Were not my brother, I would not take this hand from thy throat until this other had ripped thy tongue out for saying so.
Sweet masters, be patient, for your father's remembrance be at accord.
You let me go, I say.
I will not, till I please. You will hear me. My father charged you in his will to give me a good education. You have trained me like a peasant, obscuring and hiding from me all gentlemanlike qualities. The spirit of my father grows strong in me, and I'll no longer endure it. So, allow me such exercises as may become a gentleman, or give me the poor lottery my father left me by testament. With that, I'll go buy my fortune.
And what shalt thou do when it is spent? Beg? Stay home. I will not be troubled by you further. You will have some part of your will, but until then, I pray you leave me and get for you this old dog.
Is old dog my reward? It is true I have lost my teeth in your service. God bless my old master. He would not have spoken such a word.
Even so, begin even now that you grow upon me, well, I will physic your rankness and give you no 1,000 crowns neither. Hello, Dennis.
Calls, your worship.
Was that not Charles, the Duke's wrestler that came here to speak with me?
So please you, he is here at the door and importunes access to you.
We'll call him in. It shall be good tomorrow. Good wrestling.
Good morrow to your worship.
Good, dear. What new news at the new court?
There is no news at the court, sir, but the old news. That is, the old Duke has been banished by his younger brother, the new Duke.
Can you tell me if Rosalind, the Duke's daughter, be banished his town?
Oh no. The Duke's daughter, her cousin, loves her so that she would have followed her exile, or would have died to stay behind her.
Where shall the old Duke live?
They say he is in the forest of Arden, and has a many merry men with him. And there, they live like the old Robin Hood of old England.
But you wrestle for the new Duke tomorrow.
Merry, do I, sir? I have come to acquaint you with a matter. I am given, sir, secretly, to understand that your younger brother Orlando hath the disposition to come in disguise against me to try a fall. Your brother is but young and tender, and I would loathe to foil him. Therefore, out of my love to you, I came hither to acquaint you that you might stay him from his tenement, altogether against my will.
Well, I thank thee, Charles, for thy love, and thou shalt find... Thou wilt find that its most manly is appointed. I have taken notice of my brother's purpose herein, and through underhanded means labored to dissuade him from it, but he is resolute. I tell thee, Charles, it is the most stubborn fellow in all of France, and full of ambition, and envious emulator of every man's good parts, and a secret contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, use thy discretion. I would much rather you break his neck as you would his little finger. If thou dost him any slight disgrace, or if he does not brace himself upon you, he will practice against thee with poison, or entrap thee with some treacherous device or another, and never leave thee till he have taken thy life. For I assure you, Charles, and I speak this with tears, there has never been one so young and villainous as James.
Well, I am heartily glad I came hither to you. Tomorrow, if he come, I will give him his payment. If you go alone ever again, I will never wrestle for prize more. And so God keep your worship.
Very well, Charles. Now I will steer this gate. I should hope to see the end of him. Though, my friend, no matter why, I am nothing more than he. He's gentle, never schooled yet well learned, of noble device, full of enchanting beloved to the whole world, and especially my own people, who best know him, that I am altogether misprized. Well, this wrestling shall end all. Nothing remains but that I kindle the word hither, which I will go about now.
What I got they used to call the blues. Nothing was really wrong. Feeling like I don't belong. Walking around some kind of lonely cloud. Rainy days, Mondays always get me down.
I pray thee, Rosalind, sweet my cuss, be merry.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I am Miss
curse of. And would you yet I were merrier, unless you can teach me to forget a banished father. You must not learn me to remember any extraordinary pleasures.
Herein I see, thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my uncle, thy banished father, had banished thy uncle, the Duke my father, so thou hadst been still with me, I could have taught my love to take thy father from mine. So wouldst thou, if the truth of thy love to me were so righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
Well, I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know my father hath no child but I, nor none is like to have, and truly, when he dies, thou shalt be his heir. What he hath taken away from thy father perforce, I will render thee again in affection. By mine honor I will. And when I break that oath, let me turn monster. Therefore, my sweet Rose, my dear Rose, be merry.
From henceforth I will, comes, and devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Marry, I prithee do, to make sport withal, but love no man in good earnest, nor no further in sport neither, than with safety of a pure blush, thou mayest in honor come off again.
What shall be our sport then?
How now, wit, whither wander you?
Oh, you must come away to your father, mistress.
Oh, were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honor, but I was bid come for you.
Where learned you that oath, fool?
Oh, of a certain knight who swore by his honor that the pancakes were good, and swore by his honor that the mustard was not. Now, I'll stand to it, that the pancakes were not and the mustard was good, but yet was not the knight still forsworn.
I'll prove you that in the great heap of your knowledge.
Aye, marry, now unmuzzle your wisdom.
Well, stand ye both forth. Stroke your chins and swear by your beards that I am a knave.
By our beards, if we had them, thou art.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that has not been, oh, you are not forsworn, no more than the knight was in swearing on his honor, for he didn't have any. And if he did, he swore it away long before he ever saw those pancakes or that mustard.
Prithee, who is that thou meanest?
Oh, one that old Frederick, your father loves.
My father's love is enough to honor him. Enough! Speak no more of him. You will be whipped for taxation one of these days.
Oh, the more pity I that fools may not speak wisely, what wise men do foolishly.
By my troth, thou sayest true. For since the little wit that fools have was silenced, the little foolery that wise men have makes a great show. Here comes Monsieur Lebeau.
Oh, with his mouth full of news.
Which he will put on us as pigeons feed their young.
Then we shall be news crowned.
All the better, we shall be the more marketable.
Cuckoo! Cuckoo!
Bonjour, Monsieur Lebeau, what's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost much good sport.
Sport? Of what color?
What color, madam? How shall I answer you?
As wit and fortune will.
And as the destinies decree.
Well said. That was laid on with a trowel.
Nay, if I keep not my rank.
Oh, thou losest thy old spell.
You amaze me, ladies. I would have told you of good wrestling, of which you have lost the sight of.
Yet tell us the manner of this wrestling.
I will tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyships, you may see the end. For the best is yet to do.
Well, the beginning. That is dead and buried.
There comes an old man and his 3 young sons.
I could match this, beginning with an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence. The eldest of the 3 wrestled with Charles, the Duke's wrestler, which Charles in a moment threw him and broke 3 of his ribs, that there is little hope of righting him. So he served the 2nd, and so the 3rd. Yonder they lie, the poor old man, their father, making such
But what is the sport, monsieur, that the ladies have lost?
Why, this that I speak of?
Oh, those men grow wiser every day. It is the first time that I've heard that the breaking of ribs was a sport for ladies.
Or I promise thee.
But is there any else longs to hear this breaking music in his sides? Is there yet another who dotes upon rib breaking? Shall we see this wrestling, cousin?
You must if you stay here, for here is the place appointed for the wrestling, and they are ready to perform it.
Yonder sure they are coming. Let us now stay and see it.
Is yonder the man?
Even he, madam.
Alas, he is too young. Yet even successfully.
How now, daughter and cousin? Are you crept hither for the wrestling?
Aye, my liege. So please you give us leave.
You'll find little delight in it, I can tell you. There is such odds in the man. If he challenges youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him, ladies. See if you can move him.
Call him hither, good Monsieur Lebeau.
Do so. I'll not be by.
Monsieur? The princesses call for you.
I attend with all respect and duty.
Young man, have you challenged Charles the wrestler?
No, fair princess. He is the general challenger. I come but in as others do to try within the strength of my youth.
Young gentlemen, your spirits are too bold for your years. You have seen cruel proof of this man's strength. We pray you, for your own sake, to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir. Your reputation shall not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duke that the wrestling might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me to my trial, wherein, if I be foiled, there is but one shame that was never graced. If killed, one dead that's willing to be so. I shall do my friends no harm, for I have none to lament me. The world no injury, for in it I have nothing. Only in the world I take up a place, which may be better supplied when I have made it empty.
The little strength I have, I would it were with you.
And mine, to eke out hers.
Fare you well. Pray heaven I be deceived in him.
Your heart's desires be with you.
One bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust.
What? Huh? I'm the champion! I'm the champion, none of you!
Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust. Another one bites the
You
dust.
suck! Each and every one of you!
Another one bites the dust.
Cut! Where's this young Dante so desires to lie with his Mother Earth?
Ready, sir, but his will hath in it a more modest working.
You shall try but one fall.
No! I warn thee, your grace! You shall not need to give him a second. He has heavily persuaded him from a first.
You mean to mock me after. You should not have mocked me before. But come thy ways.
Now Hercules be thy speed, young man.
I would I were invisible to catch the strong fellow by the leg.
Charles!
How do you like your Orlando now? How do you like me now? Get up! Fine, I'll pick you up. Yeah, give up! How do you like that? Huh? What? You answer now! Each and every one of you! I wrestle for the Duke, not you people!
No more!
Yes, Your Grace. I'm not yet well breathed.
How dost thou, Charles?
He cannot breathe, my lord!
Bear him away.
Did I win?
What is your name, young man?
Orlando, my liege. Youngest son of Sir Roland de Bois.
I wouldst thou had been son of some man else. The world esteemed thy father honorable, but I did find him still mine enemy. Now shouldst thou please me better with this deed, hadst thou descended from a different house. Fare thee well. Thou art a gallant young man. I wouldst thou had told me of another father.
I am more proud to be Sir Roland's son, his youngest son. I would not change that calling to be adopted heir to Frederick.
My father loved Sir Roland as his soul, and all the world was of my father's mind. Had I known before this young man his son, I should have given him tears unto entreaties, ere he should thus have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us go thank him and encourage him. My father's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Sir, you have well deserved. If you do keep your promises in love, but justly, as you have exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Gentlemen, take these from me. One out of suits for fortune that could give more, but better hand lacks hands. Shall we go, cuz?
Heart's desires be with you.
Can I not say that I thank you? My better parts are all thrown down. Now which here stands up is but a quintain, a mere lifeless block.
But he calls us back. My pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he would. Sir, did you call? Sir, you have wrestled well. and overthrown more than your enemies.
Will you go, cuz?
Have with you. Fare you well.
Oh. What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue? I cannot speak to her, yet she urged conference. Oh, poor Orlando. Thou art overthrown. Or Charles or something weaker masters thee.
Good sir, I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place. The Duke is humorous, what he is indeed. More suits you to conceive than I to speak of.
I thank you. But prithee, tell me this. Which of the two was daughter of the Duke that was here at the wrestling?
Neither his daughter, if we judge by manners. But yet indeed the lesser is his daughter. The other is daughter to the banished Duke. But I can tell you that of the late this Duke has stained displeasure against his gentle niece, grounded upon no other argument but that the people praise her for her virtues and pity her for her good father's sake. And on my life, his malice against the lady will suddenly break forth. Sir, fare you well.
I thank thee. I rest much bound unto you. Thus must I, from the smoke into the smother, from a tyrant duke into a tyrant brother. Oh, heavenly Rosalind.
Why, cousin! Why, Rosalind! Cupid have mercy, not a word.
Not one to throw at a dog.
No, thy words are too precious to be cast away upon curs. Throw some of them at me. Come, lade me with reasons.
Then there were two cousins laid up, when the one should be lamed with reasons and the other mad without any.
Is all this for your father?
No. Some of it is for my child's father. Oh, how full of briars is this working day world!
They are but burrs, cousin, thrown upon thee in holiday foolery. If we walk not on the trodden paths, our very petticoats will catch them.
I could shake them off my coat. These burrs are in my heart.
Hem them away.
I would try if I could cry ahem and have him.
Come, come, wrestle with thy affections.
They play the part of a better wrestler than myself.
Is it possible, on such a sudden, that you should fall into so strong a liking for old Sir Roland's youngest son?
The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
Well, doth it therefore ensue that you should love his son dearly? And by this kind of chase, I should hate him. For my father hated his father dearly, yet I hate not Orlando.
No, faith, hate him not, for my sake.
Why should I not? Doth he not deserve well?
Let me love him. Look, here comes the Duke.
With his eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch you with your safest haste, and get you from our court.
Me? Uncle?
You, cousin, within these 10 days, that thou beest found so near our public court as 20 miles. Thou diest for it.
I do beseech your grace. Let the knowledge of my fault bear with me.
Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me a traitor. Tell me whereon the likelihoods depend.
Thou art thy father's daughter. That's enough.
So was I when your highness took his dukedom. So was I when your highness banished him. Treason is not inherited, my lord. Or if we did derive it from our friends, what's that to me? My father was no traitor. Therefore mistake me not to so To think my poverty is treacherous.
Dear sovereign, hear me speak.
Aye, Celia! We stayed her for your sake. Else had she with her father ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young that time to value her, but now I know her. Why, if she be a traitor, why, so am I. We still have slept together, rose at an instant, learned, played, eat together, and wheresoever we went, like Juno's swans, still we went coupled and inseparable.
Thou art a fool! She loves thee of thy name, and thou wilt show more bright, and seem more virtuous when she is gone. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom. I have passed upon her. She is banished.
Oh, pronounce that sentence then on me, my liege. I cannot live out of her company.
You are a fool. You, niece, revive yourself. If you outstay the time, upon mine honor and in the greatness of my word, you die.
Oh my God, Rosalind! Whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou change fathers? I will give thee mine. I charge thee, be not thou more grieved than I am.
I have more cause.
Thou hast not, cousin. Prithee, be cheerful. Knowest thou not that the Duke hath banished me, his
That
daughter?
he hath not.
No, hath not. Rosalind lacks then the love which teacheth thee that thou and I am one. Shall we be sundered? Shall we part, sweet girl? No. Let my father seek another heir, and therefore devise with me how we may fly, whither to go, and what to bear with us.
Why, whither shall we go?
To seek my uncle in the forest of Arden.
Alas, what danger would it be to us, maids as we are, to travel forth so far? Beauty provoketh thieves sooner than gold.
Put myself in poor and mean attire, and with a kind of umber smirch my face, like do you. So shall we pass along and never stir assailants.
Were it not better? Because that I am more than common tall. We did suit me, all points, like a man. A gallant curtal axe upon my thigh, a boar spear in my hand, and in my heart lie there what hidden women's fears there will. We'll have a swashing and a marshal outside, as many other mannish cowards have that do outface it with their semblances.
What shall I call thee when thou art a man?
I'll have no worse a name than Jove's own page. Therefore, look, you call me Ganymede. But what will you be called?
Something that hath a reference to my state. No longer Celia, Eliana.
But cousin, what if we essayed to steal the clownish fool out of your father's court? Would he not be of comfort to our travels?
He'll go along o'er the wide world. Leave me alone to woo him. That's a way. Get our jewels and our wealth together. Devise the fittest time and safest way to hide from the pursuit which will be made after my flight. Now go we, in content, to liberty and not to banishment.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? And this, our life, exempt from public haunt, finds tongues in trees, books in the running brooks, sermons in stones, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, let us go kill some venison.
Indeed, my lord.
Show me the place.
I will bring you to it straight.
Is it possible that no man saw them? Cannot be.
I cannot hear of any that did see them. The ladies, her attendants of her chamber, saw her abed, and in the morning early, they found that bed untreasured of its mistress.
My lord, the Warnish clan at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh, is also missing. Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the wrestler that did but lately foil the sinewy Charles, and she believes that where they have gone, that youth is surely in their company.
Said to his brother, bring that gallant hither. If he be absent, send his brother to me. I'll make him find him. Do this suddenly. And let not search and inquisition quail to bring again these foolish runaways.
Who's there?
What? My young master? Oh, my sweet master. Oh, my gentle master. Oh, you memory of old Sir Rosalind. Why? What make you here?
Why, what's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth. Come not within these doors. Within this roof the enemy of all thy graces lives. Your brother, no brother, hath heard of your praises, and this night he means to burn the lodging you used to lie, and you within it. If you fail at that, he will have other means to cut you off. This is no place. This house is but a butchery. Abhor it, fear it, but do not enter it.
Why, whither, Adam? You still have me go.
No matter whither, so you come not here.
What wouldst thou have me do? Go and beg my food? Or with base and boisterous sword? Enforce a thievish living on the common road?
But do not so. I have 500 crowns. The thrifty hire I saved under your father. Here is the gold. And all this I give to you. Let me be your servant. Though I may be old, yet I am strong and lusty. Let me come with you. I will serve you as a younger man in all your business and necessities.
Good old man. How well in thee appears the constant service of the antique world. When service went for duty, and not for me. But come thy ways, we'll go along together.
Oh,
And ere we have thy youthful wages spent, we'll light upon some settled low content.
oh, master, go on, and I will follow thee to thy last gasp with truth and loyalty.
Oh, Jupiter, how weary are my spirits.
I care not for my spirits, if my legs were not so weary.
I could find in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and to cry like a woman. But I must comfort the weaker vessel. Therefore, courage, good Aliena.
I pray you, bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For that matter, I would rather bear with you than bear you.
Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Yes.
Now I am in Arden, and the more fool I. When I was at home, I was in a better place. But travelers must be content.
Aye, so be so, good Touchstone. Look, who comes here? A young man and an old. Solemn talk.
That is the way her scorn you still.
Oh, Corin, thou knowest how I do love her.
I partly guess, for I have loved ere now.
No, Corin, being old, thou canst not guess. Though in thy youth thou wast as true a lover as ever sighed upon a midnight pillow. But if thy love were ever like to mine, which sure I think never man loved so. How many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Oh, thou didst then ne'er love so heartily. If thou rememberest not the slightest folly that ever love did make thee run into, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not sat as I do now, wearying thy ear in thy mistress's praise, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not broke from company, as my passion now makes me, thou hast not loved. Oh, dear Phoebe. Phoebe!
Alas, poor shepherd, searching of thy wound, I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love. I cast my rod upon a stone and told him to take that for coming a night for Jane's smile. When I remember the kissing of her back and the cows dug, the pretty chopped hams had milked. And I remember the wooing of a peas cod instead of her, from whom I took 2 cods, and giving them to her again, said with weeping tears, "Wear these for my sake." We that are true lovers run into strange capers, but as all is mortal in nature, so all love in nature is mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art ware of.
I shall never be aware of my own wit until I break my shins against it.
Jove, this shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And I mind, but it grows something stale with me.
I pray you, one of you question yon man, if he for gold will give us any food. I've been almost to death.
Hello, clown!
Peace, fool, he's not thy kinsman.
Calls.
Oh, you're better, sir.
Else are they very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even to you, friend.
And to you, gentle sir, and to you all.
I prithee, shepherd, if that love or gold can in this desert place buy entertainment, bring us where we may feed ourselves and rest. Here's a young maid, with travel much oppressed, and faints for succor.
Fair sir, I pity her, and wish, more for her sake than for mine own, my fortunes were more able to relieve her. But I am shepherd to another man, and do not shear these fleeces that I graze. My master is of churlish disposition, and little recks to find the way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his coat, his flocks, his bounds of feed are now on sale, and at our sheepcote now. By reason of his absence, there is nothing you shall feed on. But what is, come see, and in my voice, most welcome shall you be.
I pray thee, if it stand with honesty, buy thou the cottage, the pasture, and the flock, and thou shalt have to pay for it of us.
And we will mend thy wages. I like this place. Willingly. Could waste my time in it.
Assuredly, the thing is to be sold. Go with me, and if you like upon report, the soil, the profit, this kind of life, then I will your very faithful feeder be, and buy it with your gold right suddenly.
melancholy, Monsieur Jacques?
I thank it. More, I prithee. I can suck melancholy from a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More, I prithee, more.
My voice is ragged. I know I cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I desire you to sing. Will you sing?
More at your request than to please myself.
Well then, if ever I thank any man, I'll thank you. Come, sing. And you that will not, hold your tongues. Shh.
Well, I'll end the song. Sirs, cover the while. The Duke will drink under this tree. He hath been all this day to look you.
And I have been all this day to avoid him. He's too disputable for my liking. I think of as many matters as he, but I give heaven thanks and make no boast of them. Come, warble, come.
Really love, really love. Love is like a flame, burns you when it's hot. Love her. Ooh, love her.
I'll give you a note to this verse that I wrote yesterday, in despite of my invention.
I'll sing it.
Thus it goes. If it do come to pass that any man turn ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, the dummy, the dummy, the dummy, the dummy, the dummy, dummy.
What's that? Dukdame?
'Tis a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle.
I'll go seek the Duke. His banquet is prepared.
Dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I died for food. Oh, here lie I down and measure out my grave. Oh, farewell, kind master.
Why, how now, Adam? No greater heart in thee. Comfort a little. Cheer thyself a little. Live a little. If this uncouth forest yield anything savage, I will either be food for it or bring it for food to thee. For my sake, be comfortable. Hold death while at the arm's end. I will here be with thee presently. And if I bring thee not something to eat, I'll give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before I return, thou art a mocker of my labor. I will bear thee to some shelter. Thou shalt not die for lack of a dinner, if there live anything in this desert. Cheerly, good Adam.
Oh, I get by with a little help from my 'cause you're on your own. Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get high with a little help from my friends. Oh, I get shy with a little help from my friends.
I think he tried to be transformed into a beast, for I can nowhere find him like a man.
My lord, he is but even now gone hence. Here he was married during the song.
Go seek him out. Tell him I would speak with him. Ah!
He saves my labor by his own approach.
How now, monsieur? What a life is this? That your friends must woo your company. What? You look merrily.
A fool! A fool! I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool, a miserable world. As I do live by food, I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms, in good set terms, and yet a fool. Good moral fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he. Call me not fool till heaven has sent me fortune. And then he drew a dial from his poke, and looking on it with lackluster eyes says very wisely, it's 10 o'clock. And thus we may see, quoth he, how the world wags. 'Tis but an hour ago since it was 9, and in 1 hour more 'twill be 11. And so, from hour to hour, we write and write. And then, from hour to hour, we rot and rot. And thereby hangs a tale. When I did hear the motley fool thus moral on the time, my lungs began to crow like a chanticleer. That fool should be so deep contemplative. And I did laugh sans intermission, an hour by his dial. Oh, noble fool, a worthy fool.
The thorny point of bare distress had taken from me the show of smooth civility. But yet I am inland bred, and I know some nurture. But forbear, I say, he dies. That touches any of this fruit, till I and my affairs be answered.
And you will not be answered with reason. I must die.
What would you have? Your gentleness shall force more than your force move us to gentleness.
I almost died for food, and let me have it.
Sit and eat, and welcome to our table.
Speaking so gently. Oh. Pardon me, I pray you. I thought that all things had been savage here, and therefore put I on the countenance of stern commandment. But whatever you are that in this desert inaccessible, under the shade of melancholy boughs, to lose and neglect the creeping hours of time, to know if you ever looked on better days, to know what it is to pity and be pitied, and let gentleness my strong enforcement be, in the which hope I blush, and hide my sword.
True is it, we have seen better days. But then sit you down in gentleness, and take upon command what help we have to your wantings can be ministered.
Then but forbear your food a little while. There is an old poor man, who after me hath many a weary step limped in pure love, till he be first sufficed, being oppressed with 2 weak evils, age and hunger. I will not touch a bit.
Go seek him out. We will nothing waste till you return.
I thank thee, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest, we are not all alone, unhap. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play it.
All the stage. And all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant, mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy, with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with a woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. And then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick in quarrel, seeking the bubble reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly with good cape on line, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts into the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank, and his big, manly voice turning again toward childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all, that ends this strange, eventful history, is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Oh, welcome. Set down your venerable burden. Let him eat.
I thank you most for him.
So as you need, I scarce can speak to thank you for myself.
I will not trouble you as yet to question you about your fortunes. Let some music. And good cousin, sing.
Would you believe in the love at first sight?
Yes, I'm certain that it happens all the time.
What do you see when you turn out the light?
I can't tell you, but I know it's mine.
Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I get high with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I'm gonna try with a little help from my friends.
If you were the good Sir Roland's son, as you have whispered faithfully you were, and as mine eye doth see his effigies truly limned and living in your face, be truly welcome hither. I am the Duke that loved your father. The residue of your fortunes? Come to my cave and tell me. Good old man, you are right welcome hither, as is your master. Support his arm. Give me your hand, and let me all your fortunes understand.
Do you need anybody?
I just need someone to love.
Could it be anybody?
I want somebody to love.
Oh, I get by with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I get try with a little help from my friends. Ooh, I get high with a little help from my friends.
Ooh, I get by with
not see him since. Sir, this cannot be. But look to it. Find out your brother wheresoever he is. Do this with candor. Bring him, living or dead, within these 12 months. Or look thou no longer to make a living in our territory. Thy lands, and all things thou dost call thine, worth seizing, we do seize into our hands, till thou canst quit by thy brother's mouth all that we think against thee.
Oh, that my lord knew my heart in this. I never loved my brother in all my life.
More villain thou. But push him out of doors. Let my officers of such a nature make an extent upon his house and lands. Do this expediently, and send him going.
Hang there my verse, in witness of my love. O Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and in their barks my thoughts I will character, that every eye which in this forest looks shall see thy virtue witnessed everywhere. Run, run, Orlando, carve on every tree the fair, chaste, unexpressive she.
Shepherd's life, Master Touchstone?
Well, true, shepherd, in respect of itself, it is a good life, but in respect of it is a shepherd's life, it is not. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
No more, but that I know the more one sickens, the worse at ease he is, and that he that wants money, means, and content is without 3 good friends, that the property of rain is to wet, fire to burn, that good pasture makes fat sheep, and that a great cause of the night is the lack of the sun.
Such a one is a natural philosopher. Oh, was I ever in court, shepherd?
No, truly.
Oh, and thou art damned.
Yea, I hope.
Well, truly thou art damned like an ill-roasted egg all on one side.
For not being at court, your reason?
Well, if thou never wast at court, thou never sawest good manners. And if thou never sawest good manners, then thy manners are wicked. And wickedness is sin, and sin is damnation. Oh, thou art in a perilous state, shepherd.
Not a whit, Touchstone. For those that are good manners at the court are as ridiculous in the country as the behavior of the country is most mockable at the court. You have too courtly a wit for me, I'll rest.
Oh, wilt thou rest damned?
Sir, I am a true laborer. I earn that I eat, get that I wear. Owe no man hate, envy no man's happiness. Glad of other men's good, content with my harm. And the greatest of my pride is is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck. Here comes young Master Ganymede, my new mistress's brother.
From east to western din, no jewel is like Rosalind, her worth being mounted on the wind. Through all the world bears Rosalind, all the pictures fairest lined up but black to Rosalind. Let no face be kept in mind but the fair of Rosalind.
Oh, well, I'll rhyme you 8 years together, and I'll dinner, suppers, and sleep times excluded.
Out, fool.
For a taste. If a heart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosalind. If a cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosalind. Sweetest nut has sourest rind. Such a nut is Rosalind. He that sweetest rose will find must find love's prick, ow, and Rosalind. These are very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peace, you dull fool. I found them on a tree.
Oh, then the tree yields bad fruit.
Peace. Ha! Here comes my sister. Reading.
Why should this a desert be? For it is unpeopled? No. Tongues I'll hang on every tree that shall civil sayings show. Some, how brief the life of man runs his erring pilgrimage, that the stretching of a span buckles in his sum of age. Some, of violated vows twixt the souls of friend and friend, but upon the fairest vows, and at every sentence end will I, Rosalind, write, teaching all who read it the quintessence of every sprite, heaven would in little show. Therefore, heaven nature charged that one body should be filled with all blessings, wide and large, nature presently distilled. Helen's cheek, but not her heart. Cleopatra's majesty, Atalanta's better part, and sad Lucretia's modesty. Thus, Rosalind, of many parts, by heavenly synod, was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts, to have the touches dearest prized. Heaven would that she these gifts should have, and I, to live and die, her slave.
What tedious homily of love have you wearied your parishioners withal, and never cried, "Have patience, good people"?
How now, that friends? Shepherd, go off a little. Go with him, Sarah.
Well, let us make an honorable retreat, but not with bag and baggage, but with script and scrippage.
Didst thou hear these verses?
Oh yes, and more too, for some of them had in them more feet than the verses would bear.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees? Trow you who hath done this?
Is it a man?
And a bouquet that you once held around his heart. It is young Orlando, who tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart both in an instant.
Nay, but the devil take mocking. Speak sad brow and true maid.
Faith, coz, 'tis he.
Orlando?
Orlando.
Alas, the day! What shall I do with my doublet and hose? What did he when thou sawest him? What said he? How looked he? Wherein went he? What makes he here? Did he ask for me? How parted he with thee? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word.
You must borrow me Gargantua's mouth first. 'Tis a word too great for any mouth of this age's size.
But doth he know that I am in the forest and in man's apparel? Looks he as freshly as he did the day he wrestled?
It is as easy to count atomies as it is to resolve the propositions of a lover. But take a taste of my finding him, and relish it with good observance. I found him under a tree, stretched out like a dropped acorn.
called Job's tree when it drops forth fruit.
Give me audience, good madam.
Proceed.
There lay he, stretched out like a wounded knight. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous, he comes to kill my heart.
Soft, comes he not here?
'Tis he. Slink by and note him.
I thank you for your company, but I as lief had been myself alone.
Yes, I do desire we may be better strangers.
God be with you. Let's meet as little as we can.
I do thank thee for your society.
I pray you, mar no more trees with writing love songs in their barks.
I pray you, mar no more of my verses with reading them ill-favoredly.
Rosalind is your love's name?
Yes, just.
I do not like her name.
There was no thought to pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
You're full of pretty answers. Will you sit down with me, and we two will rail against our mistress the world and all our misery.
I will chide no breather in the world but myself, wherein I know most faults.
The worst fault you have is to be in love.
It's a fault I would not change for thy best virtue.
I'll tarry with you no longer. Farewell, Senior Love.
I'm glad of your departure. Adieu, Monsieur Melancholy.
I will speak to him like a saucy lackey, and under that habit play the knave with him.
Do you hear, Forrester?
Very well. What would you?
I pray you, when it's 2 o'clock.
You should ask me the time of day. There's no clock in the forest.
Well, then there's no true lover in the forest. Else sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as a clock.
Why not the swift foot of time? Had that not been as proper?
By no means, sir. Time travels in divers paces with divers persons.
Where dwell ye, pretty youth?
With this shepherdess, my sister, here in the skirts of the forest, like a fringe upon a petticoat.
Are you native of this place?
As the coney that you see dwell where she is kindled.
Your accent, it's something finer than you could purchase and so removed to dwelling.
I have been told so many, but indeed an old religious uncle of mine taught me to speak, who was in his youth an inland man, one that knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I have heard him read many lectures against it, and I thank God I am not a woman. To be taxed with so many giddy offences as he hath generally taxed the whole sex withal.
I prithee, recount some of them.
No, I will not cast away my physic but on those that are sick. There is a man haunts the forest that abuses our young plants with carving Rosalind in their barks, hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies on brambles, all forsooth deifying the name of Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for I believe he has the quotidian of love upon him.
I am he that is so love-shaped. I pray you, tell me your remedy.
There are none of my uncle's marks upon you. He taught me to know a man in love, of which cage of rushes I am sure you are not prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, which you have not. a blue eye, and sunken, which you have not, an unquestionable spirit, which you have not, a beard, neglected, which you have not. But I pardon you for that, for simply your having a beard is a younger brother's revenue. Then your hose should be ungartered, your bonnet unbanded, your sleeve untied, and your shirt unbuttoned, and everything about you showing a careless desolation. But you are no such man. You are rather point device in your accoutrements, as loving yourself than seeming the lover of any other.
Fair youth, I could make thee believe that I love.
Me believe it. You may as soon make her that you love believe it, which I warrant she is apter to do than to confess she does. That is one of the points in the which women still give the lie to their consciences. But, in good sooth, are you he that hangs the verses on the trees, wherein Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to you, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, I am that unfortunate he.
But are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness, and deserves as much a dark house and whip as madmen do. The reason why they are not so punished and cured is that the lunacy is so ordinary that the whippers are in love too. Yet, I profess, curing it by counsel.
Have you cured any so?
Yes. One. And in this manner. He was to imagine me his love, his mistress, and I set him every day to woo me, at which time would I, being but a moonish youth, grieve, be effeminate, longing, liking, proud, fantastical, apish, shallow, full of tears, full of smiles, for every passion something, and for no passion truly anything, as boys and women are for the most part cattle of this color, would then like him, then loathe him, then entertain him, then forswear him, then weep for him, then spit at him. That I drave my suitor from his mad humor of love to a living humor of madness, which was to forswear the full stream of the world and to live in a nook merely monastic. And thus I cured him. And in this way will I take upon me to cure you, to wash your liver as clean as a sound sheep's heart, that there not be one spot of love in it.
I would not be cured, youth.
I would cure you, if you would but call me Rosalind and come every day to my coat and woo me.
By the faith of my love, I will. Tell me where it is.
Come with me to it, and I'll show it you. And by the way, you shall tell me where in the forest you live. Will you go?
With all my heart, good youth.
Nay, you must call me Rosalind. Come, sister. Will you go?
without me, 'cause I ain't got nobody. Nobody cares for me. Nobody cares for me. I'm so sad and lonely, sad and lonely. Want some sweet mama come and take a chance with me, 'cause I ain't so bad. Get it on, baby. It's a love song. Oh, love the time. Keep it on the beat. On the beat.
Oh, come apace, good Audrey. I will fetch up your goat, Audrey. Am I the man, Audrey, yet? Do my simple features content you?
Your features? Rude weren't us. What features?
Well, I am here with thee and thy goats. Oh, as the most capricious poet, honest Ovid, was amongst the gods. Well, when a man's verses cannot be understood, or a man's good wit forward and seconded to the understanding child, it strikes him more dead than a great reckoning in a little room. I would the gods had made thee more poetical.
I do not know what poetical is. Is it honest indeed in word? Is it a true thing?
No, truly, for the truest poetry is the most feigning, and lovers are given to poetry. But what they swear in poetry might said as lovers they do feign.
Do you wish then the gods had made me poetical?
Oh, I do truly, but thou swearest thou art honest. But if thou wert a poet, I should hope that thou didst feign.
Would you not have me honest?
Oh, no, truly, unless thou were hard favored, for honesty coupled to beauty is like having honey a sauce to sugar.
Well, I may not be fair, and therefore I pray the gods make me honest.
Oh, come on, we must be married. or live in bawdry.
He attends here in the forest on the Duke your father.
I met the Duke yesterday and had much question with him. He asked me of what parentage I was. I said, of as good as he. So he laughed and let me go. But what talk we of fathers when there is such a man as Orlando?
Oh, that's a brave man. He writes brave verses, speaks brave words, makes brave oaths and breaks them bravely. Quite traverse, athwart the heart of his lover, has a puny tilter that spurs his horse, but on one side breaks his staff like a noble goose, but all's brave that youth mounts and folly guides. Look, who comes here?
Mistress, master, you have oft inquired after the shepherd that complained of love, who you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress.
Well, what of him?
If you would see a pageant truly played between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little, and I shall conduct you, if you will mark it.
Oh, come, let us remove the scent of lovers feedeth those in love. Bring us to this sight. And you shall say, I'll prove a busy actor in their play.
Sweet Phoebe, do not scorn me. Phoebe, do not. Say you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. The common executioner whose heart the accustomed sight of death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humbled neck, but first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that dies and lives by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee.
Thou tellest me there is murder in mine eye? 'Tis pretty sure and very probable that eyes that are the frailest and softest things, who shut their coward gates on atomies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now I do frown on thee with all my heart, and if my eyes can move, let them kill thee. Now counterfeitest rude, why now fall down? Or if thou canst not, oh, for shame, lie not to say mine eyes are murderers. Now show the wound my eye hath made in thee. And now, my eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not. Nor, I'm sure, there's no force in eyes that can do hurt.
Oh, dear Phoebe, if ever has that ever may be near, you meet in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, then shall you know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
But till that time, come not thou near me. And when that time comes, afflict me with thy mocks. Pity me not, as till that time I will not pity thee.
And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother, that you insult, exalt, and all at once over the wretched? What, though you have no beauty, as by my faith I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed. Why must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why? What means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail work. What's my little life? I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your ready brows, your copper silk hair, or your cheek of cream that can entain my spirits to your worship. You, foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her? Her foggy south puffing with wind and rain. You are 1,000 times a proper man than she a woman. 'Tis such fools as you that makes the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her. And out of you she sees herself 1,000 times more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But, mistress, know yourself, down on your knees, and thank heaven, fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you, friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. So take her to thee, shepherd. Fare you well.
Sweet you, pray you, chiding you together. I had rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He's fallen in love with your foulness, and she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be so, as fast as she answers thee with frowning looks, I'll sauce her with bitter words. Why do you look so upon me?
For no ill will I bear you.
I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. Besides, I like you not. Come, sister. Shepherd, ply her hard. Will you go, sister? Shepherdess, look on him better. Be not so proud. Though all the world could see, none could be so abused in sight as he. Come to our flock.
Dead shepherd, how I find that saw of might. Whoever loved that loved not at first sight.
Sweet Phoebe.
What sayest thou, Silvius?
Sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I'm sorry for thee, gentle Silvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. If you do sorrow at my grief and love, by giving love, your grief and my sorrow are both extermined.
Thou hast my love, is not that neighborly?
I would have you.
Silvius.
The time was that I hated thee, and yet it's not that I bear thee love. But since thou canst talk of love so well, thy company, which erst was irksome to me, I will endure and employ thee too. But do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness, and thou art employed.
So holy and so perfect is my love, and I in such a poverty of grace, that I shall see it a most plenteous crop to glean the broken ears from the man the main harvest reaps. A scattered smile loose now and then, and that I'll live upon.
Knowest now the youth that spoke to me erewhile?
I've met him oft, but I know him not very well. And he hath bought the cottage in the bounds that the old harlot was once master of.
Think not that I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy. Yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well. Oh, when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. Oh, 'tis a pretty youth. Oh, not very pretty. Oh, but sure, he's proud. And yet, his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion, and faster than his tongue did make offense, his eye did heel it up. Oh, he's not very tall, but for his years he's tall. His leg is but so-so, yet 'tis well. Oh, there was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheeks. It was just the difference between the constant red and mingled damage. There'd be some women, Sylvius, had they marked them in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. And yet I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said my eyes were black and my hair red. Now I'm remembered scorn at me. I marvel why I answer not again. But that's a one. Omittance is no quittance. I'll write to him a very taunting letter. Thou shalt bear it, wilt thou, Sylvius?
Phoebe, with all my heart.
I'll write it straight. The matter's in my head and in my heart. We'll be bitter with him and passing short. Go with me, Sylvius!
I prithee, pretty youth, let me be better acquainted with thee.
They say you are a melancholy fellow.
I am so. I do love it better than laughing.
Those that are in extremity of either are abominable fellows, and betray themselves to every modern censure worse than drunkards.
Why, 'tis good to be sad and say nothing.
Why then, 'tis good to be a post.
I have neither the melancholy of a scholar, which is emulation, nor the musician, which is fantastical, nor the courtier, which is proud, nor the soldier, which is ambitious, nor the lawyer, which is politic, nor the lady, which is nice, nor the lover, which is all of these. But it is a melancholy of mine own, compounded of many simples, extracted from many objects, and indeed the sundries contemplation of my travel, in which my often rumination wraps me a most humorous sadness.
A traveler. By my faith, you have great reason to be sad, for I fear
You have sold your own lands to see other men's. And to have seen much and to have nothing is to have rich eyes but poor hands.
Yes, I have gained my experience.
And your experience makes you sad. I'd rather a fool to make me merry than experience to make me sad. And to travel for it, too.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
Nay then, God be with you. And you talk in blank verse.
Farewell, Monsieur Traveler. Why, how now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while? You, a lover, and you serve me such another trick. Come in my sight no more.
I come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love. He that will divide a minute into 1,000 parts and break but a part of the 1,000th part of a minute in the affairs of love. It may be said that Cupid hath clapped him on the shoulder, but I'll warrant him part whole.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Nay, and you be so tardy. Come no more in my sight. I had as lief been wooed of a snail.
Of a snail?
Aye, of a snail. For though he comes slowly, he wears his house on his head. A better jointer, I think, than you make a woman. Besides, he brings his destiny with him.
And what's that?
Why, horns, which such as you are fain to be beholding to your wives for. But he comes armed in his fortune, and prevents the slander of his wife.
Virtue is no hornmaker, and my Rosalind is virtuous.
And I am your Rosalind.
It pleases him to call you so, but he hath a Rosalind of a better leer than you.
Come, woo me, woo me. For now I am in holiday humor and like enough to consent. What would you say to me now? And I were your very, very Rosalind.
I would kiss before I spoke.
Nay, you would better speak first. And when you were gravelled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss. Very good orators, when they are out, they spit. And for lovers lacking, God warn us! Matter, the cleanest shift is to a kiss.
How if the kiss be denied?
Then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins a new matter.
Who could be out, being before his beloved mistress?
But that should you be, if I were your mistress. Or I should think my honesty ranker than my wit.
How about my suit?
Not out of your apparel, and yet out of your suit. And not I your Rosalind?
It gives me great pleasure to say that you are, because I'd be talking of her.
Well, in her person, I say, I will not have you.
And in my own person, I die.
No! Faith, Orlando! No, no! Men are April when they woo. December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. I will be more jealous of thee than a Barbary cock pigeon over his hen, more clamorous than a parrot against the rain, more newfangled than an ape, more giddy in my desires than a monkey. I will weep for nothing, like Diana in the fountain, and I will do that when you are disposed to be merry. I will laugh like a hyena, and that when thou art inclined to sleep.
Will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she will do as I do.
She is wise.
Or else she could not have the wit to do this. The wiser, the waywarder.
A man that had a wife with such a wit? You might say wit, whither, wilt.
Nay, you might keep that check for it till you met your wife's wit going to your neighbor's bed.
What wit could wit have to excuse that?
Mary, to say she came to seek you there. You shall never have her without her answer unless you have her without her tongue.
For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I must take leave of thee.
Alack! I cannot lack thee 2 hours! Oh, no!
I must attend the Duke at dinner. By 2 o'clock, I'll here be with thee present.
Aye, go your ways. Go your ways. I knew what you would prove. My friends told me so much, and I thought no less. 'Tis that flattering tongue of yours that won me. 'Tis but one cast away, and so come death. Ah! 2 o'clock is your hour. Oh!
Aye, sweet Rosalind.
By my troth, and in good earnest, and so God, mend me. And by all pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break one jot of your promise, or come 1 minute behind your hour, I will think you the most pathetical break promise, and the most hollow lover, and the most unworthy of her that you call Rosalind, that may be chosen out of the gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore, beware my censure, and keep your promise.
With no greater religion than if wert thou indeed my Rosalind.
Well,
so adieu.
Time is the old justice that examines all such offenders. So let time try. Adieu.
You have simply misused our sex in your love rate. We must have your doublet and hose plucked over your head and show the world what the bird hath done to her own nest.
Oh, my pretty little cuz, that thou didst know how many fathom deep I am in love. But it cannot be sounded. My love hath an unknown bottom, like the Bay of Portugal.
Or rather bottomless, that as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out.
I'll tell thee, Aliena, I cannot be out of the sight of Orlando. I'll go find a shadow and sigh till he come. Look!
Who comes here?
My errand is to you, fair youth. My gentle Phoebe bid me give you this. I know not the contents, but by the stern brow and waspish action which she did use, which in writing of it, it begs, it carries an angry tenor. My pardon. I am but a guiltless messenger.
Patience herself would startle at this letter, and play the swagger. Bear this, bear all. She says that I am not fair, that I lack manners. She calls me proud, that she could not love me. We're men as rare as phoenix. Ode's my will, her love is not the hair that I do hunt. Why writes she so to me? Well, shepherd, well, this is a letter of your own device.
No, I protest. Phoebe did write it.
Come, you are a fool, and turned into the extremity of love. I say she never did invent that letter. That is a man's invention.
Sure, it is hers.
'Tis boisterous and cruel style. Will you hear the letter?
If it so please you, for I have heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
She Phoebes me. Mark how the tyrant writes. Art thou God to shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Why thy godhead laid apart warn'st thou with a woman's heart? Did you ever hear such railing? Whiles the eye of man did woo me, that could do no vengeance to me, meaning me a beast. If the scorn of your bright eye have power to raise such love in mine, alack in me, what strange effect would they work in mild aspect? Whiles you chide me, I did love, how then might your prayers move? He that brings this little love to thee, little knows this love in me. And by him seal up thy mind, whether that thy youth and kind will the faithful offer take of me and all that I can make. Or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die. Oh.
Call you this chiding?
Yes, poor shepherd.
Do you pity him? He deserves no pity. Wilt thou love such a woman? What? To make thee an instrument, and play those strains upon thee, not to be endured. Well, go your way to her. For I see love hath made thee a tame snake. And say this to her, that if she love me, I charge her to love thee. And if she will not, I shall never have her unless thou entreat for her. If you be a true lover, hence, and not a word. Here comes more company.
Good morrow, fair ones. I pray you, if you know where in the earliest of the forest stands a sheepcote fence about with olive trees.
West of this place, down in the neighbor bottom, the wreck of osiers by the murmuring stream left on your right hand brings you to the place. But at this hour, the house doth keep itself. There's none within.
If an eye may profit by a tongue, then I should know you by description. Such garments, such years. The boy is fair and a female favor, and bestows himself like a ripe sister, and the woman is low and browner than her brother. Are not you the owner of the house I did inquire for?
It is no boast, being asked, to say we are.
Orlando commands him to you both, and to the youth he calls Rosalind. He gives this bloody handkerchief. Are you he?
I am. What must we understand by this?
Some of my shame, if you know of me and the man I am, and where and how and when this handkerchief will stand.
I pray you, tell it.
When young Orlando first parted from you, he promised to return within the hour. While pacing through the forest, chewing the meats of sweet and bitter fancy, lo befell, he cast his eyes aside, and what object did present itself to him? Under the oak, whose boughs were mossed with age, and top dry, bald with dry antiquity, a wretched, ragged man, overgrown with hair, lay sleeping on his back. Around his neck, a green and gilded snake did wreath itself, head nimble high, approaching with threats the opening of his mouth, when suddenly seen Orlando, with nimble glide, it slipped under a bush, whose shade, under the bush's shade, a lioness, all utters drawn dry, lay couching, head to the ground, with cat-like watch, for the sleeping man to stir, for 'tis the royal disposition of the beast to not prey on that doth seem dead. See this, Orlando approached the man and discovered it was his brother, his elder brother.
Oh, I have heard him speak of that same brother. And he did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
So well he might do, for well I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando, did he leave him there? Food to the sucked and hungry lioness?
Twice he did turn his back in purpose so, but kindness, nobler than revenge, and nature, stronger than his justification, forced him to give battle to the lion, which quickly fell before him, and hurtling from miserable slumber, I waked.
Are you his brother?
Was you he rescued?
Was you that did so oft contrive to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I. I do not shame to tell you that what I was my conversion so sweetly tastes the thing that I am.
But for the bloody napkin!
By and by. When first to last betwixt our tears of rencounterment, most kindly bathed as to how I came to this desert place. In brief, Orlando led me to the gentle Duke, who gave me fresh array and entertainment, and committed me unto my brother's love, who led me to a cave, and there he stripped, and upon his arm the lioness had torn a piece of flesh, which all the while had bled. And then Orlando fainted, and cried out in his fainting for Rosalind. But in brief, I did recover him, I bound his wounds, and in no short time, being of strong heart, he sent me hither, stranger that I am, to tell his tale, that you might excuse his broken promise, and to present to the youth shepherd youth he doth call in jest Rosalind, this bloody handkerchief dyed in his blood.
Oh, why how now? Ganymede, sweet Ganymede.
Many will swoon when they see the sight of blood.
There is more in it. Some Ganymede.
Oh, look, he recovers.
Oh, I would I were at home. We'll lead you thither. I pray you, will you lead him by the arm?
Yo, youth, what heart! You like a man's heart.
So I do. I pray you commend my counterfeiting to your brother.
This could be no counterfeiting. There was true testimony in your complexion that is a passion of earnest.
Counterfeit, I assure you.
Well then, take a good heart and counterfeit to be a man.
So I do. But in faith, I should have been a woman by right.
Come, you look paler and paler. I pray you, draw homeward. Good sir, go with us.
Oh, that I shall. But first I must bear answer back to how you excuse my brother, Rosalind.
I shall devise something, but I pray you commend my counterfeiting to him. Will you go?
Patience, gentle Audrey. We shall find a time, Audrey.
Faith, the priest was good enough for all the old gentlemen say it.
Ah, but there is a youth in the forest here that lays claim to you.
Aye, I know who 'tis, and he hath no interest in me in all the world. Here comes the man you mean.
Oh, it is meat and drink for me to see a clown, by my troth. We that have good wit have much to answer for. We will be flouting, we cannot hold.
Good evening, Audrey.
Cut you good evening, William.
And good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, gentlemen. No, cover thy head, cover thy head. No, prithee, be covered. How old are you, friend?
25, sir.
Oh, a ripe age. And is thy name William?
William, sir.
Good answer and a fair name. With them born in the forest here?
Aye, sir. Aye, thank God.
Oh, thank God. Good answer. Art thou rich?
Face, sir? So-so.
Oh, so-so. It's good. Very good. Very excellent good. But it is not. It is but so-so. Art wise?
Aye, sir. I have a pretty wit.
Oh, pretty wit. Now that reminds me of a saying that the fool does think he's wise, while the wise man thinks he's a fool. Do you love this maid?
I do, sir.
Well, give me your hand. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
Well, learn this of me. To have is to have. There's a figure in rhetoric that drink being poured from a cup into a glass by filling one doth empty the other. And your writers do consent that ipsy is he. But you are not ipsy, for I am he.
Which he, sir?
He, sir, that must marry this woman. So, clown, abandon, which is in the vulgar, leave the society, which is in the common company of this female, which is in the boorish woman, which together is abandon the society of this female, or you, clown, you perishest, or diest, or to thy better understanding, I will kill thee. I will o'errun you with fractions. I will deal with thee with poison. I will bastonado and with steel. I will kill thee 150 ways. Now tremble and depart.
Do, good William.
God rest you, merry sir.
I attend, Audrey. I attend.
Is it possible that on so little acquaintance you should like her? That but seeing love her, and loving woo, and wooing she should grant? And will you persever to enjoy her?
Do not hold the giddiness of it in question. Know the small acquaintance, her poverty, my sudden wooing, nor her sudden consent, but just say with me, I love Aliena, and say with her that she loves me, and consent to us both that we might enjoy each other, for it will be to your good. For my father's house and all revenue belonging to Sir Roland's will, I will estate upon you, and here I will live and die a shepherd.
You have my consent. Let your wedding be tomorrow. Thither will I invite the Duke and all his contented followers. Go you and prepare Aliena. Look, here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister.
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see thee wear thy heart in a scarf.
Just my arm.
I thought thy heart had been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Well, wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you how I counterfeited a swoon when he showed me her handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
Nay, I know where you are. 'Tis true. For your brother and my sister no sooner met, but they looked. No sooner looked, but they loved. No sooner loved, but they sighed. No sooner sighed, but asked for another the reason. No sooner sought the reason, but sought the remedy. And in these degrees have they made a pair of stairs to marriage, which they will climb incontinent, or else be incontinent before marriage. They are in the very wrath of love. Clubs cannot part them.
We shall be married tomorrow. I'll invite the Duke to the nuptial. How bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes. By how much the more shall I tomorrow be at the height of heart heaviness? By how much I shall think my brother happy in having what he wishes.
Why then tomorrow I cannot serve your turn for Rosalind.
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you then no longer with idle talking. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have since I was 3 conversed with a magician, most profound in his art, and yet not damnable, If you do love Rosalind so near the heart as your jester cries it out, when your brother marries Aliena, shall you marry her? I know into what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible to me, if it appear not inconvenient to you, to set her before your eyes tomorrow, human as she is and without danger.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
Oh, but my life I do, which I tender dearly, though I say I am a magician. Therefore, put you in your best array, bid your friends, for if you will be to marry tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind, if you will. Oh, look, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers.
You have done me much ungentleness to show the letter that I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle to you. You are there followed by a faithful shepherd. Look on him. Love him. He worships you.
Good shepherd, tell this youth what it is to love.
It's to be made all of sighs and tears. And so am I for Phoebe.
Oh, and I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of faith and of service. And so am I for Phoebe.
Oh, and I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is all to be made of fantasy, all made of wishes, all made of passion, all adoration, duty, and observance, all humbleness, all patience and impatience, all trial, all purity, all observance. And so am I for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Why do you speak to? Why blame you me to love you?
To her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Pray you no more of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I could. Tomorrow meet me all together. I will marry you if ever I marry woman, and tomorrow I'll be married. And I will satisfy you if ever I satisfied man, and tomorrow you'll be married. I will please you if what pleases you contents you, and tomorrow you will be married. As you love Rosalind meet, as you love Phoebe meet, and as I love no woman, I'll meet. I have left you your commands. Fare you well.
I will not fail if I live.
Oh, nor I.
Nor I.
Here comes one of the banished Duke's pages.
Longer than there have been fishes in the ocean, higher than any bird ever flew, longer than there have been stars up in the heavens. I've been in love with you, stronger than any mountain cathedral, truer than any tree ever grew, deeper than any forest primeval. I am in love with you. I'll bring fire in the winters. You'll send in the book of our lives, though the binding cracks and the pages stuck yellow, I've been in love with you. I am in love with you.
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy could do all this that he hath promised?
My lord, sometimes I do believe and sometimes I do not. As those that fear they hope, and know they fear.
Patience once more, whilst our compact is urged. You say, if I bring in your Rosalind, you will bestow her on Orlando here.
That would I, had I kingdoms to give with her.
And you say, when I bring her, you will have her.
That would I. Revive all kingdoms king.
You say, you will marry me if I be willing.
That will I, should I die the hour after.
But if you do refuse to marry me, you give yourself to this most faithful shepherd.
So is the bargain.
You say that you will have her if she will.
Though to have her in death for one thing.
I have promised to make all this matter even. Keep you your word, O Duke, to give your daughter. Keep you your word, Orlando, to receive his daughter. Keep your word, Phoebe, that you'll marry me, or else refusing to marry me, to wed this shepherd. Keep your word, Silvius, that you'll marry her if she refuse me. From hence I go, to make all this matter even.
I do remember in this shepherd boy a lively touch of my daughter's favor.
My lord, the first time that I ever saw him, we thought he was a brother to your daughter, but my good lord, this boy is forest born, and hath been tutored in the rudiments of many desperate studies by his uncle, whom he reports to be a great magician, obscured in the circle of this forest.
There sure is another flood toward, and all these couples are coming to the ark. Here come a pair of very strange beasts, which in all tongues are called fools.
Greetings and salutations to you all.
Good my lord, bid him welcome. This is the motley-minded gentleman I have so often met in the forest. He hath been a courtier. He swears.
Well, if any man doubt, let him put me to my purgation. I had tread a measure. I have flattered a lady. I have been politic with my friend, smooth with mine enemy. I've had 3 tailors and 4 quarrels, and like to have fought 1.
Good my lord, like this fellow.
I like him very well.
Good deal, you sir. I desire the like of you. I press in here, sir, amongst the rest of these country copulatives, to swear and forswear as the marriage binds and the blood breaks. A young virgin, sir, an ill-fortunate thing, sir, but mine own.
By my faith, he is very swift and sententious.
Is this not a rare fellow, my lord? He's as good at anything, and yet a fool.
He uses his folly as a stalking horse, and under the presentation, he shoots his wit.
heaven, when earthly things made even atone together. Good Duke, receive thy daughter. Hymen from heaven brought her, yea, brought her hither that thou mightst join her hand with his, whose heart within his bosom is.
If there be truth in sight, thou art my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, why then, my love, adieu.
Peace! Ho! I bar confusion. 'Tis I must make conclusion of these strange events. Here's 8 must take hands to join in Hymen's bands, if truth holds true contents. You and you no cross shall part. You and you are heart in heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman to your lord. You and you are sure together, as the winter to foul weather. Whiles a wedlock hymn we sing, feed yourselves with questioning. That reason wonder may diminish, how thus we met, and these things finish.
Oh, my dear niece, you are most welcome to me. Even daughter, welcome in no less degree. Play music, and you brides and bridegrooms all, with measure heaped in joy, to the meathers fall.
Proceed, proceed. We will begin these rites, as I trust they'll end in true delights.
It is not the fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but it is no more unhandsome than to see the lord the prologue. If it be true that good wine needs no bush, then 'tis true that a good play needs no epilogue. But to good wine they do use good bushes, and good plays prove the better with the help of a good epilogue. What a case am I in then? That am neither a good epilogue nor can insinuate with you in the behalf of a good play. I am not furnished like a beggar, therefore to beg does not become me. My way is to conjure you, and I'll begin with the women. I charge you, O women, to like as much of the play as you please. And I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, as by your simpering I perceive none of you hates them, that between you and the woman the play may please. If I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you as had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, and breaths that defied me not. And I am sure, as many of you as have good breaths or good faces will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you fading light. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, ease my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. They toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life. Me and you, and you and me, no matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. The dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together, so happy together. And how is the weather? So happy together, we're happy together, so happy together. Longer than there've been fishes in the ocean, higher than any bird ever flew, longer than there've been stars up in the heavens. I've been in love with you. Stronger than any mountain cathedral, truer than any tree ever grew, deeper than any forest primeval. I am in love with you. I'll bring fire in the winters, you'll send showers in the springs. We'll fly through the falls and summers with love on our wings. Through the years, as the fire starts to mellow, burning lines in the book of our lives, though the binding cracks and the pages start to yellow, I'll be in love with you. I'll be in love with you. ocean, higher than any bird ever flew, longer than there've been stars up in the heavens. I've been in love with you. I am in love with you.
Extreme